TD, he always cracks me up. He is so funny.
Does that help?
Yeah, I love the sound effect. Great intro.
Gas money.
Yeah, it does. I wonder how we'd get up to that stand over here, though.
Definitely not this way.
No way. We're not going through hill and dale. That's a full day, 3/4 day of hiking for me with a full load. Nice stand of quaking aspens up here is what we're talking about. I think there's a trail that leads on the other side of that mountain. It kind of follows that ridge line, I think, right up here. I bet you there's a trail right there. We'll check it out later. Listen to the sounds of nature up here. No, I'm not going to fart. Not this time. Maybe later.
Take. We'll see on the next one.
TD and I, we are on the KTMs, and this is a by request KTM dual sport motorcycle update in TMP. I would say overall, our likability scale of both of these bikes has not changed at all. If anything, it's gone up. True or false, TD?
Yep.
Both of them have been reviewed in years past, probably, I don't know, 2015 for that, 2015 or 14 for the 500, I forget. High likability scales, not perfect. They have their quirks, they have their downsides. We'll discuss a few of them again here. In the front is the KTM 690 Enduro R. Man, is that a great bike. A really great all-arounder, the 690 Enduro R. True or false? Roger that. We're kind of pulled over in the road here. We can't favor this side, so most people are really super cool. Like this guy, they're just going slow. They're watching out for us. Not a problem. But I just like the scenery of this spot right here. 690 Enduro R, that's an all capability bike. It's a do everything bike, jack of all trades. And there have been some modifications we'll discuss here in a second. Since I've reviewed it, I think I discussed some of them previously. And then we've got the KTM 500 EXC. Say hello to a rare in the project these days, Tactical Doodle once again. What's up?
Nothing much.
He is in state, that is Utah, for a little bit, and then he goes back to his stuff, what he's doing. How'd you like that driving up? We'll start with a 500.
It's awesome. I forgot how light it was. I've been driving my 1190 so long. Light, the throttle just is instant. It's like, it reminds me of the little sport bikes they used to make bred with a dirt bike. Because you got that little front wheel on the front, so it's really maneuverable and it changes direction. It's so just pared down, sporty and awesome. And it's got enough power to keep you going. We were doing 80 today.
On the interstate, with plenty more to go.
Yeah.
Plenty more.
100 is probably where it starts to run out of legs, and that's only because it's geared.
I've had this bike up to, I think, 109 or 110, and that was with the dual sport tires or dirt tires.
Yeah.
I haven't really tried a top speed run with a Warp 9, and we'll have on the Stanzias. In Motard configuration right now, and we're really debating what to do with the 500. We're not planning on selling it yet. I wouldn't say it's one of our most used bikes because we have some others in the rotation that you see driving. But dang, it's completely modded out to the level we like. It has a lot of aftermarket stuff on it. I mean, should we go over it once again? I think we should, because guys are going to come to this video and they never saw the original review. I'll go super quick. Long discontinued now, Warp 9 orange nipples on black Motard wheels. Orange anodized hubs. I think these are different shock protectors I put on with the Motard wheels because I had to cut them for the fatter tire. You can see that cut right there.
Same with the fender. That's not original.
Yep, the fender's aftermarket.
Because the original one for the 21-inch would flop and sit there and vibrate and catch air on the interstate. That's
correct. This is a much stiffer, higher quality fender. We like that one a little bit better.
And this whole thing, like this, didn't we have problems with that staying in place?
Yeah, huge.
Because it really, in true dirt bike fashion, it's just this entire assembly resting on two little like nipple pegs.
It's actually has rubber.
It would sit there and jump up. Look at that. You can see your bolts.
Dude, I had to work hard on getting this faceplate right, the angle of the right. This is a Squadron Pro Baja design setup on this 500 EXC. It's amazing. Not technically DOT legal, but I don't care. I want to be seen. And so it works great. And I've been running it for years now, no problems. You can be seen with it, and it's reliable. It's on a remote control setup. I won't go into all the details. I think I covered it in the review. But if you're looking for a really nice light for your KTMs, that's it. It ain't cheap. All the Baja design stuff is ultra quality, and it's pretty much ultra expensive. So yeah, like he's saying, I won't go into a ton of details, but we had to configure a bolt arrangement. I had to cut, I think these are custom side plates that I made, I think.
Yeah, they are.
So it would angle right so we could get the throw perfectly, and then bolts. It was a pain in the butt. But
I was trying to aim it.
Oh gosh.
Because they only have a little bit of adjustment in there, and between, it's just one of those dirt bike things. You can tell KTM didn't plan on this thing being at freeway speeds all day when they put it together.
That side's still attached, isn't it? Seems
Yeah.
like. Well, part of it's Baja Designs too. I thought their mounting system was retarded.
Yeah.
They should have done a much better job. So they take some heat for that too. This turn signals on all KTMs, like we talked about, they'll let moisture in. We have to helicopter tape all of them, otherwise you get water in your turn signals, especially as we're blasting through creeks and mud and stuff. It's starting to sprinkle rain. It just happens. If you drive your KTM, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This one's set up for street, so we're running radar detector. We still got, what are these?
Barkbuster Storms?
Yeah, the Storm handguards, which are great. They're end mounted, so they're clean and easy mount on a very limited space. Renthal, is it? What is it? The bar.
I think it is Renthal.
Yeah, bar. I love the bar. That's just a stock bar. Didn't need to change it. New mirrors. We had to change that. Scott's steering stabilizer, absolutely necessary in driving the desert. And you've been out in the desert with me a lot on this, right?
And in the, just on the freeway, I like having that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll feel, even today, I catch like a gust of wind from a semi or something, and I feel that front end lift up. Because it's what, 60 horse on the back of this? 66 or something? 50?
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a lot for its
It's a
weight.
lot of power, and if you're not weighting that front end, it'll kind of wiggle if you're not.
Correct.
You'll feel it start to kind of step out.
And you can change your whole dampening, your centering feel with your Scott stabilizer. To me, it's completely necessary. At least what we do with our bikes. I mean, we get out and run them. They're test beds too. I mean, they'll haul gear. Even this one will haul gear once in a while. I really like taking the 690 instead. We'll talk about its gear modifications here in a second. Let's see, other modifications super quick. We got aluminum side plates that Doodle bought. That was some dude that made those right here on the side of the engine case. A Cerbis bash plate, which I love. It's polymer and it's lightweight. I covered that.
You got your jetting system.
Oh yeah, JD jetting. Fuel adjustment system. It works good too. It's tuned perfect right now.
Yeah.
Tuned perfect. And that actually will flash. You can see the wire running on that. That'll flash and tell you what's going on. And you can adjust it on the fly. The instructions are pretty good on that. Talked about the mirrors already. I think these are aftermarket levers. We've snapped a pair or two off.
I think these are KTM brand.
They are,
These
but
are the nice ones. Oh yeah.
they didn't come on the bike though.
No, the original levers weren't great.
Power parts is what they call it. Enduro Engineering, grab handle on the back. Yoshimura pipe, and we might as well talk about that now.
You got the seat concepts, right?
Oh yeah, the seat concept seat. That's awesome.
It's a lot wider, a lot more cozy.
Yeah.
A lot better than the old. The old one was like 6 inches, if that. You just sit there. It was fine at first, but after a day in the saddle, it's pushing on your tailbone.
The problem we had with the muffler, even the stock muffler, it had like a screen on the, this is a, what year is this, a 13 or 14?
I think a 13.
13.
The spark arrestor screen.
Spark arrestor screen would come out. We lost like 6 of them. And don't tell me, oh, you should have done this. We tried everything.
Should have done this, should have done that. If
short
the
of welding it.
couldn't figure it out, then...
Short of welding it. We didn't spot weld it, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, because we didn't want to avoid the warranty. The first time they said, don't weld it, we'll just give you a new one. And after like the 3rd time, they're like, yeah, they say nothing's wrong with it.
We put on a Yosh pipe in. It sounds better. It's lighter. But along with that, we're still dealing with the melting off of turn signals. We've lost about 3 of them. This is a 4th. We've done everything like taping it, thermal protection. And you're looking at our current modification that we tweeted, actually it was last night. It's a custom built stainless steel deflector plate that Tactical Duo and myself made, and we mounted, and it's working. I mean, it's protecting the tail light, but now it's deflecting heat up into the fender, which is melting. This is all melted away on this ride all by itself. So dang, now I gotta make and I was telling TD, I was like, well, when you change something like this, you have the law of unintended consequences that you'll go, oh, I solved that one problem. And then now you got another zipper busting on the dress you got to figure out.
Yep.
So that's a project, and shame on KTM. I told you these bikes have quirks. They totally do. That's one of them here. And that they would mount it here. And by the way, that was with a stock muffler as well. There goes a, that looks like an UH60 above the ridge.
Yeah.
That's an Apache from the Guard unit, Utah Army Guard.
Yeah. I got a buddy that used to fly those for them.
I'm sure they love combing over that ridge. That's
they
cool.
Love it.
So let's go over the ridge. They're probably going out in the desert for some training. They do MVG train all the time. You can see it's getting a patina there. It's saving the turn signal now. So that is what it is. It's infuriating, really. The later versions of 500 EXC, I've looked at them. They didn't look like they changed anything on the angle of discharge. Yeah. So I think they're still having that same problem. I've never ran into anybody on a 500 EXC that puts as many miles on them as we do. Have you?
I've never met anyone with a 500.
They're rare. What did your dealer down in Arizona say?
He said he never is able to get them. He's like, I asked for as many as I could. I could sell them all day. I've only had 2, I think, in the last year or something. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man, they just, for whatever reason, they don't bring in a ton.
Well, I think every dealership is clamoring for them. It's a fast-selling bike, and it should be.
It's an awesome bike.
It's street legal. And again, this is in Motard configuration with the smaller street wheels, which allows you to run those high durability street tires.
Yeah.
That's the advantage of the Motard configuration. So we're not going through $400 in tires every couple months out here. If it goes to dirt though, it's not ideal. You know, put on your dirt tires. I'll show you what I'm running on the 690 here in a sec.
Well, that's the problem, because this fills a niche that we can't really do. We don't have the luxury of time to go out and just do a dirt ride. We can't go, hey, let's block out a day, let's do a dirt ride here and back.
Correct.
This would be a great bike for that. Maybe even trailer it in so we're not burning through our knobbies. We can't, it's got to be.
We've done that. We used to trailer in all the time to the desert.
But we'd rather.
It's more work though. You got to get the trailer, strap the bikes on, drive, park.
Well, then we can't bring shooting stuff. So it's nice being able to do a ride and then do gun test and then bring it all back.
That's why we use the bigger bikes usually. The 690 or the 1190s do that type of work. I think Doodle was talking about the maneuverability of the bike though. It's insane. This bike is on rails basically. Even with the warp wheels on it, or the Motard wheels, which by the way, I've never seen another KTM anywhere. In all my traveling configured like this, never. I've seen some DRZs, and that's about it. I don't see any Motards at all.
You can buy a DRZ with the...
Yeah, it's DRZ 400 is a Motard from factory.
Yeah.
This will smoke it. I mean, it's not even close in a head-to-head race. And if you're a DRZ runner, hey, love you, man. But this bike is a lot faster. I'm just saying, I know, because I've raced DRZs, and they're way behind.
We looked at getting one.
We did.
The reason we have these bikes in the inventory is because we drove other stuff and kept trading it in. Well, I started on a little 250.
Is that my GoPro still turning on?
Yeah.
It's probably on voice control. It decides to turn on all by itself. GoPros are so quirky. Gives you like 30 beeps. Other mods super quick or not so super quick. Top box, deal with it.
Yeah.
How handy is that?
You need it.
That was hard mounting that. So that is some type of bracket. I talk about it in the review. And the adapter plate to that bracket is nothing but zip tied on with marine grade strong zip ties. So in the dirt, this will eventually come loose. This bracket needs to be tightened up. But, you know, for what we do, dual sport riding, it works. And it's carrying some of our stuff. It looks like that whole fender is kind of tilting right now with that melting.
Yeah.
Hope not. That sucks.
Weekend.
Let's see other things. I got a shark fin to protect the rear disc brake. This bike, before it went to Motard configuration, was actually a very technical trail riding bike, and we posted some videos on that. So we went into we put into some pretty gnarly situations, and that's when I put that shark tooth protector on there. And you can see it's been used because I was like, I was laying this bike down a lot when it was in dirt configuration. I mean, I was kind of a crazy man. The warp again, or the Motard's not perfect for that. I think what we're probably going to do is take it back to dirt, and we'll put on a kind of a dual sport tire. Aftermarket shifter, I think, and we got rally pegs on this. We've had to replace the kickstand. That broke on us. That was a warranty replacement. The motors in the 500s are awesome, but they need to be overhauled once in a while.
Yep.
You need to check headspace, take it apart. It is what it is. It has very little oil supply. You have to change the oil frequently.
It's a race bike motor.
It's a race bike motor, a race bike configuration showing KTM's race heritage, just like I said in the review.
The horsepower, you got to pay for it.
And the lightweight.
Yep.
See, if you're willing to take on more weight, that's when you go to the 690. So 690 has bigger horsepower. It's a heavier, bigger bike, more oil supply, and it's more capable. Not shown in the review, I think, was when I was on top of that mountain way back when, is this Touratech cargo rack. I don't know if I had that on or not. I don't think I did. I may have shown you a picture of it. That is really nice to have, because as you can see, I'm just strapping a bag to the top of it with bungees. So I'm not always running the Touratech boxes on it that we pulled from our old V-Stroms. See, they get reused. It's got a first aid kit in here, some other supplies. This cheesy, crappy KTM tank bag. I posted actually I did a review. I haven't posted it on this. And my gun today, let me guess, PF9? Yep, PF9.
That's what I'm carrying too.
2 PF9s because they're light. Love them. Oh, another thing on the 690 that was not here before is this windscreen. I had another one on there, and the bike was parked. Should I tell them how the windscreen got broken or no?
No.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you.
No.
Never mind. We'll just say it got broken in a certain way.
Yeah.
But this is a replacement, and I forget the brand of it. You might be able to see it through here. But I built a custom mount system for it. So it's zip tied down here. And it has a mounting bracket here. You can change your angle on it. It's really secure. I've been up to about 90, and that's about as fast as you want to go with this windscreen. Because the front end gets light and it gets some shimmy going on. Even with a steering damper. It's like a sail out there.
You've got a Scots on there, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have it mid-level. It's not like locked down to be super tight. I love this the setting on my Scots on the 690 for now. But in the summertime, you know, is the screen ideal? No, we kind of like getting the air. But in the winter, spring, it's great, and it protects your whole top from bugs. This also has a 690 Enduro R specific Baja design setup, and this one's better than that one. And its mounting system, it was easier to mount. It has more adjustability. As you can see, it has 2 lighting modules. I can't remember if that was on the bike or not. But dang, is that a nice setup. When I went to the KTM Orange event in Crested Butte, Colorado, that's when I learned about this. I saw some guys running. I was like, dang, I'm getting that. And no looking back, it's awesome. Still running my dirt tire up front on the Enduro R. And on the back, I have the Pirelli Scorpions, the MTs. MT90s, and man, is that a good tire, because it wears, it just wears. It's not perfect in the dirt, obviously. It's got big blocks, but again, we're doing a lot of road riding to getting where we're going.
You're not burning through knobbies anymore.
I run this out in the desert all the time. If it's muddy though, I ain't running it. I won't do it in the mud. Got some reflective tape on the Touratech. I did have to modify this somehow. It had some plates on it I think I cut off. Tape those turn signals, and then I made this super cool aluminum plate to hold my Rotax fuel canisters. So this is all custom, and it's got some stickers from our Pacific Ocean operations. I like bouncing out desert motorcycles and ocean stuff, scuba, Zodiac. It's fun.
Oh, you got one of the finger stickers on there.
Yep, got one of the finger stickers. You're all out of those, right? In the
yeah, I only made them for me.
Well, now that they've seen it, they want it. You want to make some more?
Maybe.
You watch the comments. You're going to have about 500 people want that sticker. We love it. Hey, that's the bird. So we often feel that way. True or false?
Yep.
So this is nice to have because it mounts on the back plate. It really stabilizes up to, I think, a 3-gallon Rotax, maybe a 5 I've had on there. And this little tank on the 690, like I said in the review, is limited. It doesn't have a ton of range, about 150, and I'm not putting a safari tank on it. This one, by the way, I forgot to mention, does have a safari tank on it. It's an Acerbis. Mm-hmm. So with that one on it, that also has about 150, 170 mile range. So these bikes are perfectly matched right now. Then I have a CJ Designs gas cap on it. That's awesome. I also learned about that at the Orange event, and that makes it so easy to refuel. Now, I think when I did the review, I had this occluded with something. I think I had like a back bag on it, like a rubberized cargo bag, and it was just a pain getting to the gas because you have to unstrap everything. So that's one reason I went with a rack. So I can put side boxes on, I can strap duffels. I got my extra fuel up here and still accessible gas refueling here. Awesome. This is the stock seat on the 690. I never felt a need to upgrade. I love the stock seat. We had to go with the seat concepts on that one because the other one sucked so bad, like we talked about. Other mods on this, I do have frame sliders. I think I showed those in the review. Rally pegs, definitely. Acerbis handguards on here, serving proudly. Same mirrors. I got these off Amazon or eBay, I forget which one. RAM mount for the cell phone. Got the same RAM mount and radar detector. That's a Whistler CR85, and then we use CR90s.
Tell them to buy the RAM mount systems.
What, these right here?
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Buy 1, buy 2, buy 4.
They're so excellent. We use them on every motorcycle we have.
And my car, I drilled in a
This is a
flat
RAM
base.
mount system. So this is mounted to the handlebar right here. Comes up, and look how stable that is. It's stable.
On my car though, I just got a flat-based one, drilled it into the dash,
Yep.
and then I can use any arm I want on it. It's awesome.
Forgot to mention, I did put a 12-volt power outlet on this 500. I wired that directly to the battery, zip tied, and soldered the wires leading back. What's your thermometer battery's dead, isn't it?
Dead.
It's saying like 95 degrees over on this one. I think that is, oh yeah, I've got a 12-volt power outlet right here on the 690 I wired. Don't know if I showed you that. And I think this is still the stock. No, this is an aftermarket brake lever on there. I think the other one either bent on a rock or a wipeout. There you go. That's a 690. Reliability wise, this has been 100%. I haven't had any problems with it. Again, these are in the mix of other bikes. They're not driven exclusively, so we don't have like thousands and thousands of miles on them. But so far, so good. I do have an ABS light on that, and so I need to troubleshoot that. And then when I turn it on and I start driving it, I hit the brake pedals, it'll kind of chatter a little bit, and there's like a pulsating, and then it goes away after 3 seconds, and the brakes work normally. I don't know what the ABS thing is, but we have learned that KTM has some weird software issues occasionally. Tell them about your 1190, what happened?
The dash died on it. It was a $600 repair. Turned it on one day and it had 12 error codes on it. I can't remember all of them, but all those went on. It would start, it would run.
It was a KTM 1190 we're talking about. It's a 2014 that he has.
MTC, ABS, pretty much everything went out, but it would run. Whenever a KTM goes wrong, we've kind of learned you just have them plug it in once. Supposedly they got to pay a fee to KTM every time it happens, so they rarely do it for free. But just get them to do that, plug it in, and then get an idea what's wrong.
You're talking to a dealer that has the software and the computer to hook up.
Tablet for it. They plugged it in. At first they said it would be about 8 hours of labor. They were like, yeah, it's we don't really know. We have to check everything in the system. There's probably going to be something in there.
Now, if guys show up and say, hey, you need to just put you should check that yourselves. Roger that. Please buy us the KTM factory computer with a connecting harness on it and send it to our post office.
Yeah,
I imagine it's going to be about, I don't know, $6,000. We'll happily accept that with your purchasing of it.
Those guys were acting like it was hard to take care of, and they were constantly having to get it updated and be in the system. So it's
I find the dealerships don't really know the codes that well either. They're a little bit lost. You got to have someone that's worked with a specific model of KTM, which you lucked out with that guy. He finally figured out, hey, I think it's your whole control head unit.
I figured it out.
You did?
They wanted to do the 8.5 hours, but earlier that month the top had popped off it when it was parked, because it was parked in like 120 degrees, and the little glass case came off it, and I kept it back on, and I was like, well, if everything was fine before, the only thing that's changed is the dash. And we were talking about the wiring, and he said everything goes to here and here, because I guess it's got a bunch of CPUs. I just figured I'd take a chance on the dash, because I needed a new one anyways, I hoped, and we got that installed, which is like a 4-minute job. But
Wrap
even
it
after
up.
that, it wasn't fine. Anyway, $600 to fix it, so.
It's finally fixed. Yeah, you can have electrical gremlins in KTMs, and
We always said it's unknown.
It is. We're long-term testing this. That's one reason we're keeping it, and probably, I don't know, every other year we'll give you an update on what's going on. This bike by itself, though, I've had no problems with it. Can you think of anything we've had?
Besides the damn turn signal and the spark
That
arrestor.
melting off, yeah.
The spark arrestor is kind of dumb, but I think it's welded on now.
And the worst thing about the spark arrestor coming off is it changed the tune.
Yep.
So now your fuel air ratio is totally dicked, middle of the ride, no way to fix it, and you're almost in limp mode coming home.
Constantly popping too.
No matter how hard I tightened it, red lock tight.
People love sometimes, but I don't love it when you're just trying to keep it quiet next to the sheriff on the highway. And the guy looks over at you like.
This has been a great bike though, I love it.
Guys always ask about the 690. That's the one you hear about most. They go, should I get a 690?
The answer is yes. How's that?
The answer wouldn't be anything but yes.
Between these two bikes, Doodle, which one do you buy?
690.
Absolutely.
690
It's
gets
not
you
even
the most
close.
Capability.
Yeah, this is a bike you can go around the world with. Guys have done it and are doing it right now in a 690. It's a can-do everything bike. You will compromise some. Every bike's got quirks, every bike's got compromises. 690 is one of my all-time top recommended bikes. The real question is, oh dude, check out. Wonder if they're TMPers. Right on cue, bro. Cool as heck, look at that. How cool is that, dude? I totally got him on camera too. That's so cool you saw that.
I used to
Air
bullseye
calf.
Rats in my T16 back home all the time.
Star Wars reference.
Beggars candy, what are you talking about?
That would be fun, but what would you rather be doing? Flying that Hilo right now or driving this bike?
Driving this.
It's fun, huh?
I like this more than pretty much anything.
Okay, now for recreation, you're driving the 500 or the 690. Which would you rather drive? That's a harder
Really
question,
depends
isn't
on
it?
where I'm going.
Doing what we're doing now, today.
500.
Yeah, so canyon driving, a little bit of interstate, a little bit of roads.
I'll say this. The 690 really has a great frame because it doesn't feel like
It does.
a dirt bike. If you ride it against the Duke, they feel so similar.
It does.
And
It
that's
feels
one of those things
like a
that
Duke.
People talk about it, and they go, you know, when you read the pamphlet, it says, yeah, it's got a frame, it's a sport bike frame, and you kind of blow it off. But drive that back to back with anything else in that category, and it really shows the difference. It's stiff. It's really, you don't have that wobble. It's not really like lazy like a normal dirt bike would be.
I think it holds a line really good. It's easy to throw it into the line as long as your technique's good.
Yeah.
So you throw weight forward, inside the turn, weight the inner peg, 690 will rail. Sean, the TMPer, and myself a couple weeks ago went up and did some technical mountain riding. I'll probably find the footage and roll it in. And dude, I was like going 10 tenths on this thing out in the middle of nowhere. It's awesome. The 1190 is about the same. All these KTMs, I don't know what it is. They just do so well on the road. So you're not really giving up anything performance-wise. I'm talking handling at least on the dirt or the road. Speaking of which, the suspension on both of these on the dirt. What do you think about that?
Awesome.
How did it compare against your Husqvarna? Overall, how did it compare?
This one has been changed. We added stiffer springs to this one.
Right. This has been, we got Race Tech springs, front and back.
Yeah.
Doodle put those in
It was
on the
really
500.
squishy before.
Yeah, it was.
Really.
It's set up for my weight and then a little bit of gear, so it's stiffer. I need to do that with this 690. I need to Race Tech it front and back, but you know, it's okay. When I put the boxes on, weighted with some ammunition, some guns, then I'm really wishing it was resprung.
People would be
Cramp buster on there too. What's that?
People would freak out at the amount of weight you put on there. On a good test day, man, you have like a steel target,
Yeah.
1,000 rounds of ammo each side, and a couple rifles on top.
It's insane. If it goes too heavy, I go with the 1190.
Yeah.
The 690's philosophy of use is more technical, maybe 2 rifles, ammunition supplies. If I go beyond that, I need the 690. But I can go places on this, I'm sorry, the 1190. I can go places on the 690 that I can't with the 1190, or I don't feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
Especially alone, because if you dump that 1190 out here on one of these back roads, you got to unstrap everything, and then it's hard on your back. It's just, it's stupid.
Yeah.
So when guys roll in comments like, oh yeah, I never have a problem. Dude, you're not carrying the weight we're carrying. And you're not on this crap.
Whatever.
Maybe
dude.
you are, but I see a lot of guys back east on that really awesome clay surface.
That stuff's awesome.
Good traction when it's dry, it's soft.
They got like bark
Clay's
along
easy
the
to ride.
edges and stuff. Oh, it's
Like, I'd attack a hill in the 500 on clay so much more aggressively than I would on this.
Yeah.
Because you'll lose traction about 3/4 of the way up. Like when I wrecked the 350 EXCF, remember when I just toasted? I had that hard wipeout. It was like the second day I owned it.
I remember one when you were charging up that hill and it stopped cold because a little pebble like that had gotten wedged in the chain. And
that was in the dunes.
That
it was
sucked.
on this bike, I think.
No, it was the
350 EXCF? Yeah. Okay. Which we sold.
Yeah.
What happened? The guy who bought it, what did he do with it?
He bought it and drove it straight out to California.
Non-stop.
Non-stop.
From Utah to California on a KTM 350 EXCF. This bike, just a few cc smaller.
With like 35 horse, was it?
A little bit more than that, I think.
It wasn't super fast. That was...
Yeah, that was my critique on the 350.
Great,
a better dirt bike, a little bit lighter, but not enough power for me.
Yeah. Not enough power for street. For dirt, you're totally cool, but there are times when you'd be loaded up and stuff and you're trying to get out of a little dangerous box in traffic.
So we covered it. Upgrades that we've done, reliability, so far so good. We've had some minor problems. What else, Doodle?
Nothing. Buy a 690.
690 is our top recommended between these two. Don't look back. Good luck finding a 690. I still think they're hard to find.
They're still rare. I don't get why people think the answer would be no. Like, why ask? Buy a 690. What do they... I just don't get it. Hey, should I buy a 690? No. What?
Or they watch my videos.
Awesome. You see it in every video. You see it in the tweets.
Yeah.
Everything we've ever said about it has been awesome.
And then they see me in person, like, hey, what should I buy?
Yeah. Like under the table, you're going to go, shh, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, what I said online, I didn't really mean.
Get rid of
I don't get those guys. Awesome. What I say online is the way I feel. Yeah. 690, 500 for more specialized riding.
It's not like KTM's sending you postcards. Hey, man.
Never heard from them, ever. Never will. That's our update. It is by request, once again, from Motorcycling TMPers. Those 2% awesome dudes in TMP. We're going to post more motorcycling videos, man. I'm going to designate Zodiac, scuba, motorcycling, backpack. It's just as core content as anything else, judging from the views. True or false?
True.
Okay, TMP. See ya.